If you're wondering about the right time to get a child a smartphone, or maybe your kids already have one and you're concerned about what they're being bombarded with online, you're going to want to listen closely to my next guest. Titania Jordan is the Chief Parenting Officer of Bark Technologies and author of Parenting in a Tech World. Welcome to the Sami Cone Show, Titania.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always great to get to hang out with you.
I'm always glad to talk to you, and this is needed now more than ever. Can you talk to us a little bit about why parents today should be concerned about getting their kids a smartphone?
Absolutely. And I fall into this camp too of giving my son tech that wasn't inherently safe for him because I didn't know at the time. I gave him a smartphone too early, and I gave him one that didn't have the right protections. And so many parents are giving their children hand-me-down iPhones that don't have adequate parental controls, or Android phones or other phones that just don't have their best interests in mind. The rate at which children experience dangers online, dangerous content, and dangerous people is so much higher than any one of us might think. And that's where our smartphone comes in with tamper-proof parental controls and giving parents the ability to get alerts when those dangers take place.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I just want to kind of cut to the chase here, because Bark Technologies has created something really special and the world is taking notice. The Bark phone has been named one of Time's top 200 best inventions of the year. I mean, that's such an honor.
Huge, huge. We were completely geeking out when we saw that, understandably. And in all seriousness, it means the world. It means the world to have launched a safer smartphone for children that is super sleek and fun and has all the functionality that they want and you want them to have if and when you want them to have it. And in less than a year, make it onto the list like that.
Yeah,
Incredible.
and I'm so glad you're showing it too. I want to get to the features, but one of the things I love about it is that it doesn't look like a kid's phone. There's
No.
nothing on it that would embarrass, especially if you're giving it to a teenager. There's no
Nope.
logos. There's nothing that they would be embarrassed to pull it out. Why was that important?
It was so important. In fact, I'm going to grab it. It's right here. I didn't want to show you just the box. It's super sleek. There's nothing juvenile about it. And it was so important because we know how frequently children are bullied for all kinds of things. The last thing we want them to be bullied for is their smartphone.
Yeah. I want to talk about some of the features, but as a parent who's used Bark for years, one of the things I loved about it is that I wasn't hiding it from my kids. This was before the phone itself was invented, but with the technology and the software, it was a conversation we had. And so I didn't feel like I was spying on it. They didn't feel like I was looking in, but it allowed for conversations. What do you feel like is so unique with the technology that comes already inherently on the phone itself?
This is the most powerful thing about Bark. And I'll start with an analogy. You don't let your kids ride in a car without a car seat or a seatbelt. You just don't do that. And that's the equivalent of the Bark phone. You're giving your child very powerful tech, but you have that seatbelt with our application and operating system. And no other smartphone is going to proactively alert you via text and email and sometimes emergency phone call if and when your child has encountered a predator, cyberbullying, explicit violent content, mental health concerns, eating disorder related content. There are other options out there that will help you, manage screen time or set filters, approve contacts, and that's fine. And Bark does all of that. But in addition to everything that you would expect from a super powerful, sleek smartphone, we are going above and beyond to analyze the content and context of your child's digital signal and then alert you so you can be in the know.
Yeah, I love that you said that too, because it allowed me to have those informed conversations, whether it was an emoji I didn't know
Right.
about or certain terms. The emails that Bark would send me was so good. They're like, here's the latest slang. And so it even allowed me to go talk to them about that. If I saw that in a conversation, I'd be like, is this really appropriate? Things like that. And I don't want to let you go without asking too, can other things be monitored, like games or tech toys?
I'm so glad you asked this. A lot of parents, when they give their children social media access, they let them download Snapchat and TikTok. They realize if their children have an iPhone, it's not the easiest to monitor. It's possible, but it's not easy. The Bark phone is the only smartphone that can fully monitor Snapchat, which is, not a great thing for kids to have disappearing photos in real-time live location shared with anybody they're connected with. So it's incredibly unique, incredibly powerful. There's nothing like it. And you touched on something that I want to quickly jump in with, which is the relationship that you have with your child is the most important thing, tech aside. And when you're using the Bark phone, it allows you to have those candid, sometimes uncomfortable, but very important conversations.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that. Titania, we have a special offer for the Bark services, but you also have some deals for the phone itself. People can go to www.bark.us. We'll put that below. That's www.bark.us. You can use code Sami Cone for a free trial of the software as well. Titania, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Have a wonderful 2024.
Yes, you too.